with your Nebraska Cornhuskers. We're starting off our second year here. I know the last stream we cut off sometime in March, right before the tournament. Our season was quite clearly over after we lost in the Big Ten tournament. We only ended up winning 9 games. You can see here on the screen our job security is looking rough. Only winning 9 games last year, and we've still got some not simple job goals for this year. So we are going to be relying heavily on our freshmen in order to meet at least 2 of these goals, I think. 2 of these goals, at least one goal would keep us safe-ish. That would drop us down to like 40%, give or take. If we meet 2 of these goals, we should be all right. I don't know about top half of the conference. Finish above 500 and improve school prestige seem reachable, depending on how good the freshmen are, and then qualify for the NIT tournament, obviously, would be coming in after that. So as people start to come in here, let's just sort of take a look at what came in as freshmen. And you never know what you're getting out of these overall star rankings, but you can see here Dwan Jolly, before he's even stepped on a court, has got a very high ranking. Kind of short, but the 4-star ranking, that's not bad. I expect all these freshmen to play well, probably most of them to start or at least play heavy minutes, because if they're not good, the rest of this roster was putrid last year. I doubt they've got much better. So Dwan Jolly here, we're going to be counting on him to get some time. He was just barely in the top 100 in the country. You can take a look. We also brought in Duncan on a scholarship. He was actually almost a top 50 player. Moving on down through our freshmen, Leonard Hart. He was also another top 100 player. And the last guy that we just signed, I actually just signed him as I was getting through to the beginning of this season. Crosby here, he was still a top 200 player. I really just wanted to bring in something of my own on this inside. We had a couple of guys transfer out. That wasn't a big deal to me. It's just more scholarships to use for this year. The big thing is going to be survive this year so that we get to a year 3 and can bring in yet another batch of our recruits to start getting some depth and talent in here. One of the things that you guys didn't get a chance to see was last year's awards. Now, the national awards weren't of much interest to me. The Big Ten awards weren't very interesting. Our team was awful. My coaching was awful. There was nothing going on there. The interesting thing, though, the American Conference, Tulane actually had 3 first-team all-conference players. It was the freshman Simmons, another small forward, I can't remember his name, and then Lutz, the big man. So our guys at Tulane, even after we left, still had a great year. There was still a lot of talent there. We left that program in a very good spot. So now we're going to see if we can survive here at Nebraska long enough to do the same thing and then some with the Cornhuskers. So you can see the roster. We took a look at overall my goals and my job security here on this screen. If you guys didn't see, we made a handful of adjustments here. This team was running the flex and the Princeton. We may change this over time, but it's what the upperclassmen know. We might as well give them a shot to do something, We can't win with just 4 freshmen. At least not the 4 freshmen we brought in. I guess you can do it if you're Duke or something. But anyway, we're not there yet. So this is the strategy that we're running. We've got the same coaches as last year. I liked what we had set up there, and there wasn't much better available. So let's jump into it, guys. We got once again, we went Great Plains and West for our recruiting reports. We're going to end up doing the same thing here. I haven't done summer travel yet, but we're going to do it. Transfers. After having a couple guys transfer out, I almost thought I might take a look at the transfers, but given that we might get fired after this year, I'm not gonna waste that time right now. Let's see. You know what? We're still shooting for the moon. We're going to Indy Elite, Houston, and Vegas. So that won't cost us too much. I think we've got 4 or 5 scholarships, actually, that we can give out. We had 3, but then after the transfers, we're going to have quite a few, but really just want to focus on bringing in some quality players. If we can fill all 5, that's wonderful. But let's bring in quality players so that, we're not wasting scholarships for 4 years. That's silly. ready to get into it. We're still going to have relatively low prestige, but again, you know, the Great Plains is a nice place to be, trying to go through and pick some diamonds out of the rough, just because there's not that many huge programs here. Take a look at the 2032 draft now. Let's see if any of our Tulane guys actually went in this. Tom Block here from Stanford had a huge year, won a ton of awards. Stanford ended up being the national champions last year. Cincy, Pitt, Florida, Virginia Commonwealth. Warhank had a good year last year. He won a lot of awards. All right, so I don't see any Tulane in there. I certainly don't see any Nebraska. So we can move on past that pro draft to the beginning of recruiting, our favorite day of the year, June 26th. So let's go check out these reports and see what we've got in store for this year. We do have 5 scholarships, almost $50,000 to bring players in. So let's do it like we always do. Let's add a handful of guys in this region as well as the West at each position. And then we've got 5 scholarships. We can just go across the board again. I think that our point guard position is probably set, at least based on those ratings, if they're even close to accurate. But still, we'll add them to the list. We're not going to discriminate. As long as we think they can make the grades, we're going to go ahead and add them to the list. So you see our interest doesn't pick up until way down here, but as always, we're going to see what we can do about that. So let's just add 2.3. Kind of scares me. Let's add those 5 guys. I'm just going to try to grab 5 at each position in this region, and then we'll do the same when we move over. So I'm taking the top 5 at each of these positions that look like they should be able to qualify. I'd love to grab a JUCO, but you don't get a whole lot of information about them. So even the GPA, again, that doesn't have to scare you off from a JUCO. They're going to qualify. They might not have good grades when they get to your school. They might become ineligible after they get to your school, but they're always going to at least make the grade to get in the door. So you don't have to worry about that. Whew. And this is kind of shallow, so I will add at least that JUCO. We're only going to add four players there. Let's head out west and see if we can pick up some extra big men so that we've got a little bit more of a list to go through. Oh, yikes. The grades, once again, not great. Yeah, but we can at least get to 6 and not have to dip down into those 2-star guys. It's not to say the 2 stars can't be good, but until they show up and do something in a camp, I'm not looking down there for them. Just oh man, 2.3. I'll go for 2.4. Ah, shoot. Why not? What's the odds we even land him anyway? If we land him, then we'll worry about the GPA. How's that? Alright, that should fill up our list. Let's see here. Oh, no. Oh, I didn't get to point guard yet. Let's remove Parker. Just a shortcut key, guys. R key will take that guy right back off your list. You don't have to move anywhere. You can do it right from this screen. On to the point guards. Oh, got some good point guards again. And I'll double up on point guards. I'm not in the least bit scared of that. And that's where our list is going to cut us off. There's a ton of highly ranked point guards out here in the West. But yeah, I'm not scared at all to take 2 point guards if that's what we can get. Throw them both out on the court at the same time and just sit back and see what happens. So our list is all filled up. Let's jump over to the list. Get all the regions in here and all the positions. Start from the top and start getting some film. Start reaching out to some of these guys. Not going to waste time calling them just yet. I do need to see where my personal recruiting ability is, just because I'm curious. Not that it'll necessarily change how I go about doing anything. It might change my outlook on what happens once we actually get somebody on campus, because that's where your head coach ability is really going to come in. So we offered all the way through Jones, and nobody's accepting these offers. But again, the JUCO guy did. We went through the same thing at Tulane. Nobody took our offers there either, and we still did just fine as far as our recruiting classes go. So Neil Wright's going to come in. One more guy. Somebody else. And as you guys know, as you saw season after season, our assistant coach will call these guys, generate the interest as we go through this recruiting season. Over time, more of these guys are going to come in. And even if they don't, I've landed plenty of players that never made a campus visit. So there we go. Charles Barrett finally decided. Got all the way down outside the top 200 overall, but Barrett finally decided to come in. We got our 3 on-campus visits out. We've got 10 guys set up to watch film. We've got our list all set up. We can roll on ahead and start getting some information from these camps now. So, moving on into July, it's going to save as we move into the new month. We'll get camp info from the national camps as well as the western region, see if there's anything we want to change up as far as our lists go. So he didn't like it. Wright liked it. And Bell liked it. So Barrett's the only one that didn't care for the on-campus visit. That's not too shabby. 2 out of 3. So we'll have a little bit of interest there. That's good. Get through these national camps. Take a look here. So we actually had quite a few players at that Indy Elite camp. I'm not going to go through and click on every one of them. A lot of these guys are never really going to be interested. It's going to be when we're still down at like 37 school prestige. So when you're that low, it's going to be more about who can you generate some interest in and then find out how they did, instead of, you don't really get to pick when you're going to Indy Elite. You don't get to pick when you're at a school like Nebraska, at least not in your second year. Eventually we'll be able to pick our players if they let us stick around here for a while. So there's our guys out in Vegas. Let's see, Kennedy from Oregon. Johnny Carroll, he was one of the point guards that was way up on the list. I recognize his name for sure. So Kennedy, Carroll, Knight, Blackman, and Barker. Man, are these not... there's Kennedy. He's the only one we had. There's Carroll. There's Barker. So a handful of the guys that are on our list were top 5 there. So that's good, assuming that they actually get some interest in us. So let's jump over here and check that out. See if we generated anything in week 1. Yeah. Johnny Carroll. Still not going to come for an on-campus, but, he's got a little interest. He's got some interest. He'll talk to us. Curtis Knight changed his mind. He's going to come in for a visit now. Javon Bell, the JUCO, all the way up to warm already. Harris declined. Hit on some of these guys that actually have a little bit of interest. There we go. So now we see the visits start trickling in. Good stuff. Let's start off right here at the top, talking to Johnny Carroll, and try to open up some of these pitch areas so that we can hopefully get out there and get in his home and make an in-person pitch. Even though I am pretty happy with, happy with the assistant coach I got. I believe I'm still better than he is. Let's go check that, though, real quick. Just so we can set expectations. My office, my dude, my recruiting's up to 76. My assistant, if I recall correctly, is at like 59. Yeah. So, we really need to get into their homes. So let's see what Mr. Carroll's interested in. We've unlocked all of those areas. He's really into location and conference prestige. So conference prestige, we're in the Big Ten. We can absolutely go toe-to-toe with anybody as far as conference prestige goes. And then location, we're not in Nevada or anything, and we're not in that western region, but we're still close enough. We might not beat out schools in the West, but we can beat out anybody in the East when it comes to location. So that's not out of the question right there. And that would be a huge pickup, very obviously, huge pickup. He's got a pretty good GPA. I'm not going to waste too much time. Let's just go ahead and make that our point guard offer. The NCBA bad boy Blazer in the house. What's up, Blazer? Glad to have you stopping by, buddy. Your Virginia team's going to be just fine. Regardless of what that other coach did, you're going to be all right. Hopefully they don't find anything, but if they do, maybe it'll just be a one-year type of deal for you. So let's get film on some of these other guys, especially that JUCO, because we're not going to get any camp information on him. And, of course, his stats are against other college players, not necessarily high school, so it's kind of hard to judge those guys. They'll generally come in a little bit more coached up, but it's harder to get a gauge on how good they really are when you're making those offers. So we got all the film out. We got all the visits out. We can go ahead and I think I still had about 25% of my phone time left. Let's see if we can bounce down here. I skipped over a point guard, but we'll see if we can't work on this shooting guard, get some of his information unlocked. We really need to get into some big men. All right, so we're all done as far as phone calls go. We only got the one big man last year, and it wasn't one of those like knock your socks off kind of guys. So really hope we get something decent out of the big men out of this pool. But Blazer, it's not always necessarily a postseason ban. It could just be scholarships if it's not a big thing. Look at that, number 6 overall, number 1 center in the nation has interest. We got a lot of decent interest now. First, we've got a summer camp to come. We lost Curtis Knight as far as interest goes. He went from cool to none. So he didn't have a good visit. We already can rule that one off. Kevin Crean appreciated it, and Bullware appreciated it. So once again, 2 for 3. Now we got Houston today. That's our very own region. Let's see how that camp goes before we do any more recruiting for this week. There's our list that attended. It's telling us Chicago's coming up. And here's Houston. So Sherrell George from Iowa, point guard. Wilcox, Earl Brown, Myron Jones, and Cartenson. So let's see here. Sherrell George, he was on our list. He is in the top 5. Is Bullware one of them? Wilcox, Brown, Jones. Whoa. I don't see Wilcox. I don't see any of those 3. And Cartenson. There's Cartenson. He is on the list. Oh, we can actually go ahead and sim through. It doesn't matter. We're not looking at Chicago. That's not a big deal. Let's jump over and take a look at these centers because we got a whole lot of interest here. Oh, nice. Got a Husker alum. Let him know I'm going to try to bring his team some glory if they don't fire me. They're already looking to fire me after year 1. We dropped from 100% down to 60% on our job security. Missed every goal possible. So let's see. Couldn't get Blackman to come in. Can't get Cartenson to come in. I mean, Blackman would be such a good get. But Cartenson is also top 5. He's closer to our region. He's still got the good GPA. Let's scout him live. Let's get film on a couple of these guys. Let's see if we can get any of the other big men to come in for a visit. Roy Rush is going to come in. That's cool. We can jump over, take a look at power forwards real quick. Anybody want to come for a visit? Yes, no, maybe so. There's one. Earl Dowling going to come on in. Let's see what we got going on here. Walker, not so much. And then small forward. We can give these guys a go. How about Brian Kennedy? No. Walker, no. Somebody's got to want to come. There we go. Eisenhower. Love to see it. Oh, nice. Yeah, hopefully by the time you get to drink with them again, we'll have a national championship sitting out here in Nebraska. So we got all of our hosting done. Let's go to all positions because we want to scout live to see if we can generate a little bit of interest like that. We're going to go see Cartensen, if we're not already. I can't remember. Was that the one that we did choose to go see? Must have been. We're also going to go see Johnny Carroll. And who else do we want to see? I know Barker was a top 5 out west. Javon Bell's the JUCO. Sherrell George was good. He's from Iowa. So another good point guard we could go out and take a look at. Let's see. Just real quick, let me look at these two camps. So in Houston, I'm just looking for small forwards or big men. Earl Brown, I don't think and Myron Jones. I don't believe either of them are on our list, right? Earl Brown or Myron Jones. Nothing there. There's Myron Jones. He's on our list. Let's go take a look there. We can scout him live. And the other one not being on the list is probably just because his GPA was too questionable. So we're not going to fool around with that. You know, Oklahoma, right in that Great Plains. Going to bring these guys in. Let's see. We can watch some more film. There we go. We'll watch Jones as well. We got some calls we can make. Let's go ahead and get a jump on that. Have I ever seen a school under investigation? You know, I haven't watched the news carefully enough to see when schools go under investigation. I actually don't realize it until like it pops up in the news that they've already received some kind of penalty. But like I said earlier, I did definitely see when I was looking after I noticed your thing, Blazer. I definitely saw where a school it said like the penalties weren't very severe, so all they did was like a 1-year scholarship reduction. So, I would, obviously root for nothing to happen, but if something has to happen, maybe it can be a 1-year scholarship reduction, and you're through it pretty quickly. So that would be not bad at all. I don't even get all my scholarships out most years, so it's really no harm, no foul. I don't know why I ask these guys about academics first. They almost always hang up on me when I do that. Let's call him back. Talk about something else. I'm sure he's interested in something. Playing time? Yeah. Knew you'd answer that question. Alright. Get another summer camp. These are going to be the camps in the East. It's not going to make a big deal for us. I'm not going to pay attention to them right now. I'm just going to click. Make sure. Oh, so now our recruiting's going to go. Alright. Uh-oh. Doesn't look like these visits went as well. We might have gone 2 out of 3 again. Eisenhower. Oh, it says he appreciated it. But he went to none. That's interesting. Dowling appreciated it. Rush did not care for it. Alright. Fair enough. So Eisenhower actually liked the visit and still went to no interest. Isn't that fun? That's alright. He didn't really stand out anyway. We'll let one of these other schools take him on. How'd Bulwer do? Bulwer was decent. Kennedy. MVP at Vegas. Top 5 in Indy. Whoo, that'd be a player to bring in. Oh, this is a dead period. Let's at least call, right? I mean, we gotta do that. Nobody thought we were bringing in the guys we brought in at Tulane until it happened. Let's make an effort. My phone is blowing up if you can hear it over here vibrating. I'll be off next week, guys. I got, my family's going on vacation, so this is my family trying to plan out their vacation, blowing my phone up in the middle of the stream. Repeatedly. Let's get some film going. Still got a lot of money at the moment. Let's go ahead and advance. Get to another hosting period. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I got by round 1. I don't think it's going to happen in round 2, though. That's an NCBA. I actually need the round 2 win to hit 20 wins on the season. That's why it's definitely not going to happen. I'll be in trouble there, too, but luckily, I don't think coaches can get fired in that. I'm in challenge mode here, so I most definitely can get fired if this season doesn't go at least better than last season. I mean, it can't get much worse, right? Daniel Jones from the Ville showing up. All right. So we got some hosting and some live scouting to do. Let's jump back out to all positions and try to scroll through here and just canvas for some of these top guys to come in for a visit again. See if we're to that point. Yeah, there was one. Who's that? Kent Grimes. Mark Knight said no thanks. Forrest is going to come. All right, was that Myron Jones? Did I offer him? Okay. Myron Jones still won't come in, but he at least has a little bit of interest now. And Cartenson's coming in for the visit now, so that's nice. So let's get live on Cartenson, Jones, and let's go all in on Johnny Carroll. I like that kid. Sounds good to me. Let's go down here, see if we can unlock some categories on these folks. That's an interesting school list here out of Jones. Last season, I think I went like 9-21. We did actually win the first round Big Ten game, and then lost in the second round. But it was atrocious. No postseason after the Big Ten was over at all, and went from 100 all the way down to 60% on coach job security or whatever. That was the first year at the school, but the team was so god-awful. It doesn't look better on paper this year, but I have more faith in it. So, take that for whatever it's worth. Probably not much. So, some of these guys, like, they're so into conference prestige. Now, he'll be a lot harder because he's got a really high on school prestige, too, and we'll get smoked on that. Let's go over here. I don't think we've unlocked Cartenson. No. Let's talk to Cartenson. No, they just got year 1 Tulane cards. Come on. I hate getting hung up on. No, we already brought in a 4-star freshman. We brought in 2 or 3 top 100 recruits to a school with 37 prestige. So it was fine from that perspective. It's just this roster was disgusting. I can't think of a word. It was just so bad. Conference prestige, very important. That's what I love to see. Alright, so we are through all of our time there. We can still do some more film, but I think we've got ratings on most of these guys now. So if we need to take a look at that, we've got that information. Let's get through this last summer camp on into August. It's getting close, guys. That was the summer camp, and this is the actual recruiting. Look, just since I moved that phone, I've got 17 text messages. This thing's driving me nuts. Yeah, usually, and I think that's pretty realistic. The top recruits tend to go for school prestige and conference prestige. That's why some of these guys where the conference prestige is higher and then the school prestige is lower and they want something else like coach discipline or location, just something else I can compete on. If I can get 2 of those categories, I got a little bit better chance, I think. Looks like, did they re-rank? I think they did a little bit of re-ranking here. Try again to canvas these top guys for visits. Come on, Johnny. I offered you a scholarship a long time ago. You still don't want to come? It's messed up, man. There we go. Myron Jones coming in. That's a big one. I think that's getting real close to offer city. Hatter's coming in. So I still think we're having better luck with these visits than we did at Tulane. Unless it's just kind of random or I'm going back through offering more often than I did at Tulane. That's about as far as I want to go on that, getting denied nonstop. But let's see if we can go ahead and make some decisions here on offers for the rest of these positions. Man, I mean, Blackman's going to be good. You know he's a one-and-done player. He's huge on school prestige. Let's stay away from that. Check out Cartensen here. Top 5 at Houston. Decent at Indy Elite. That's going to be solid. He's huge into location, conference prestige. Facilities, I don't know about that one. Let's unlock the rest of Cartensen real quick. As long as he's not like pegged on team prestige. That's probably our next offer. Yeah. So we'll try for him. Power forward. I'm gonna offer Jones. I would wait, but like there's really no harm in going ahead and making the offer. You can see he was top 5 at Houston. He was decent at Indy. He's big into location. He's not too big into school prestige. Local guy. GPA's fine. So we can go ahead and offer, and then if he does visit and doesn't care for it, we just pull the offer. No harm, no foul. There's nobody else in here that I've seen, at least, that I'm like dying to have. We can check out these 2 top 5-star guys. Faulkner, not great at Indy. So Holcomb would be a good one, probably. But he's out west. He's not in our region. He's not really that interested in coming. So we got 2 offers out. Let's keep on going, see if we can make these other 2 offers. All right, buddy, enjoy lunch. All right, so these 2 guys are both out west. As far as actual interest in the Great Plains, we got to come way down here. Knight turned us down. Eisenhower, maybe he would be something. He didn't really stand out at Houston. Bulwer was decent at Houston. So this might be a place to just take a shot. Kennedy, top 5 at Indy Elite, MVP in Vegas. Talk about a recruiting coup. We can try to host. Not going to do it. And the school prestige, I don't think we can compete. I don't think. He was top 25 at Indy as well. But you know what? You can't. All you can do is say no. And I mean, I think we can fall back on a guy like Bulwer. And if we can't, so be it. Rather go out swinging for the fences, you know. We might get fired after this year anyway. So, we bring in a number 1 recruiting class here. Then we got a legit complaint if they try to kick us out. Let's take a look at this guy in region who did visit. So he was top 25 at Memphis and decent at Indy. That's good to see. He's in Kansas. Now, I know Barker was also good. He was top 5 in Vegas. So top 5 in Vegas. Great leader. So you can see here in the stats, pretty similar with points. He's a bit of a better passer, definitely a better rebounder, much better defender. Neither of them are like top guys that are going to be Duke, Kentucky. They're not that caliber recruit, I don't think, especially not coming out of California. I would tend to think Barker's probably a little bit better player. Let's see what they're interested in. Let's see how much time I got if I can unlock all their interest. See what we got a better chance of actually bringing in. Let's look at... Can we get everything? All right, so he was interested in talking. But it wasn't even our guy, was it? Yeah, it was. No one. Whoops. That's not who I wanted to be looking at. We're trying to look at these 2. These 2 are almost identical in stats. Why was I looking at Hatter? That was stupid. Right? Yeah, let's go here. I don't know how I got those 2 confused up. Yeah, Football Manager's fun, man. It can be, if you've never played it before, it can be a bit to get into. I still don't have a good grasp on it, but I don't have any grasp of soccer. So if you've already got that soccer background, you're going to be coming out, you're going to figure that out much quicker than I do. But it is extremely deep. So it just depends on how far into it you're willing to go. Alright, he's huge into location. Let's go here. Right here. You get an offer, buddy. Alright, so that's all of our scholarships. We can still host one more person if anybody would come, but don't see it happening. Oh, there we go. Courtney London. Alright. Into the next week. So now we can, since we got all of our offers out, we can kind of just slide right on through August. I'm going to make sure that for our 5 offers, I've got all the categories unlocked on all of them. If I've got anybody who I know for certain is a close second option, we can go ahead and try to unlock that as well. So here's Forrest. Still need some more information on him. All right. Now let's see, did they re-rank shooting guards too? Yeah. So Forrest moved up ahead of Barker in the national rankings. But these two guys are pretty close. I would say Barker's probably slightly better. We might as well go ahead and unlock Barker since we know he's a close second option. And I would imagine somebody's going to snag him up pretty early in the process, but we might as well give it a shot, right? Let's definitely go take a look at point guards because we're aiming for the stars on Johnny Carroll. And that might not be realistic. Sherrell George, I know, played well. Let's see if we can host him. Nope. But let's give him a call. He's definitely a good backup option if he's around. I mean, he should be a team's first option. Usually, as far as watching film, I'll try to get everybody once, especially guys I know that I'm not going to see at a camp, just so that if I get to a point where I'm relying just on that scouting report, like, you know, if 2 guys are really close, they both had similar camps, similar interests, then, you know, I want to be able to have the evaluation, because generally what I'll do, like if I'm just trying to make a decision between a couple of guys, I'll flip it over here from show bio to show ratings. And usually the first category I like to look at is defense, because if I can't get anything else, at least I could have a good defensive team. So I would tend to rule out guys with god-awful rankings like that. If I'm choosing between these 2 guys, you know, I'm probably leaning towards this. But once I've got at least some film on all of them, I'm good to go. Unless I get into a situation where I'm really just like down to 2 players, can't figure out who I want, and you know, then I might run film on them a couple of times, try to scout them live a couple of times, just to get more and more information. The more your scouts see it, the more you see it, the better that information will be. Did I completely unlock him? No, I'm out of time. All right, let's advance. We can try to bring people in next week. But yeah, that's usually how I do my film. I'll watch a lot of it early. It sort of tapers off as I go through the recruiting process. There we go. George is going to come in for a visit. That's good. Van Hook's coming in. Now we can call him. All right. So we got 2 pretty good targets over here. Was Curly? He was decent at Vegas. So no, not really. Grimes, he's a 5-star guy out of our area. He was not good at Indy, and he didn't even go to Houston. So let's lay off of that. So yeah, Sherrell George is looking like a pretty good backup candidate at this point right there. Moving over to small forward, Brian Kennedy we should have completely unlocked. We definitely need a good backup option here. We're trying to go way up out of our league. Curtis Knight, who had the bad visit, actually back on his radar. So he, I believe, had a good camp. He didn't do great at Indy, and he was decent at Houston. So not great. Eisenhower didn't stand out at Houston. Bullware. Is Bullware? He was decent at Houston. Okay. So I mean, Bullware and Knight, probably not a huge difference between them. See if any of these other guys out west. He was top 10 at Vegas. TJ Ship out of Hawaii. I've pulled some guys out of Hawaii before. You know, some weird interest out there. He's top 25. Let's see what this guy has to say. Oh, right. He doesn't have any interest. Will he come in for a visit? Let's go through these small forwards, see if anybody will take a visit. Come on, guys. Come check out. There we go. McKeel, come. Oh, that's all that we had. We're fresh out. Let's see. Bullware, we're going to unlock the rest of these categories. Come on. If you can just call these guys back straight away, then I really don't understand the point of that mechanic. I mean, if it at least makes you wait to call them back, like wait a week to call them back, I would get it. But if you're not going to make us wait, let's get rid of the hang-ups. What's up, Breeze? Glad to have you by, buddy. All right. We're all out of time. Sim another week. What's up we got here? It's like the texts have died down a little bit. See what kind of feedback we've got over here. Cartenson appreciated. The camps, cool visits, good stuff. Not going to have any of these guys that, have like awesome visits, I don't think. Although I would have loved to see it out of Sherrill George. So, once again, none of those guys want to come in. Darby will come in. Got our information there. Got our information here, right? All of it. Everything but coach discipline. That's all right. We're third on Bullware's list. That's pretty good. And he's out of Missouri. That's in our area. He's fairly far down, so hopefully he's still available if Kennedy, presumably turns us down. So, moving on. Check out the power forward. He's completely unlocked. I'm not sure if we've got a decent backup option here. Faulkner he had some good camps. Can't get him to visit. See if he'll give us 5 minutes. No. Let's see if we can move on down a little bit. Jones is a good top 100 option. Let's see if there's anybody else that has a little bit of interest that was decent at a camp. We're looking for both here. We're looking for both. Dowling, tremendous work ethic. Love to see that. We're on his list as well, so that's decent. He didn't stand out at Indy. He was decent at Houston. We're on his list, so Neil Wright might be that next choice. And we've already unlocked him. So that's cool. And then last but not least, the big man. Surely we've already unlocked all the categories here. If we've got to go to our second option, who shall it be? Oh, the JUCO's actually out of Nebraska. Interesting. Let's check out the other Great Plains player first. Rush. Didn't really stand out at Houston. No. Sean Strong. Didn't really stand out. No. We might, if we strike out here with Cartenson, we might just let Bell be our backup option. He's a 4-star JUCO. He's averaging a double-double in college. Granted, it's not D1, but he's got a lot of interest in us. We're top 10. That's not too shabby. So I say we roll with that. Let's get the rest of the categories on Bell. Oh, come on. We're going to unlock the rest of these categories, and then we are going to blaze right on into in-home visits. Because I'm ready to see what we get and what we don't. It's always the most exciting time of this game, in my opinion. I very much intend to quit missing that opportunity in the NCBA. I keep missing the in-home visits, and that's pretty frustrating. But Guys, we got all our visits out. We've got interest unlocked on 2 targets at every position. I don't know what else we can do here. Actually, I do is go back to all positions, try to get some of these top guys in for visits, especially the ones we've offered. No interest. No interest. All right. Well, we tried. Can't say we didn't try. Save it as we go into the new month. Cross our fingers. Hope we get something good. See what this is in the inbox. Will Darby campus visit. He enjoyed it. That's good news. Let's see. We can't. This isn't the in-home visit week, right? No. No chance we can get you guys to come for an on-campus visit. No, there's not. All right. Let's see if anybody commits without a visit. That would be a bad sign for us. Generally, they're committing to the very top schools or their very top interests. And Myron Jones, straight out of the gate, not looking good. And he's going to go to Oklahoma State. So before even letting us in the door, Myron Jones has decided to go to Oklahoma State. It's going to be a Cowboy. Let's go find out what our backup option was at power forward. Blackman also, right out of the gate, went to Nova. Let's get over here on our power forwards. Remove him from the list. Whew, was Dowling our backup option here? No, Neil Wright. Yeah, Neil Wright. And we've got all his good stuff unlocked. He likes location and facilities. Let's get that offer. All right, so we know, based on the guys that we offered, Johnny Carroll and the small forward, both of those guys have to be week 1 visits. So Carroll, we're going to go talk to him about conference prestige. Try to host him again. He's still not into it. Small forward, we have to visit. He's going to be into conference prestige. He still doesn't want to come to campus. It's a good try. You know, staying focused. We're staying focused. They're not coming in just yet. Oh, nice, Breeze. That's awesome. Breeze said he made a basketball GM browser game video. Location, facilities. Let's go location on Cartenson. Ooh, Oklahoma State's at the top of his list, too. What is Oklahoma State doing? Maybe they're going to end up on that probation list soon. That's why I always like to leave illegal recruiting on in my games. I can always just make that accusation blindly and don't have to worry about it. Let's jump over here to the shooting guard situation. See if we can. Location in Kansas. Nova's up on this guy, too. All right. We got our 5 offers out. We're making 4 visits. The only guy we're not going to see is the power forward we just added to the list. Let's see what happens here. I'd rather see the lower ranked guys commit than the higher ranked guys, but, you know, somebody's got to come in. All right, so only one decision, Brian Kennedy. He was one of the higher ranked guys. I do not have a great feeling about that. Let's see how his in-home went. He said it was cool. That's a pretty lame response. And he's going to go to Syracuse. Forrest thought it went well. Cartenson, talk to me soon. Johnny Carroll says we are in the running. So, still holding out hope there, but we need to look elsewhere at the small forward position. So Kennedy's gone to Syracuse. There's Oklahoma State again, snapping up Curtis Knight. Was Bulware our backup option here? Pretty sure. He was decent at Houston. All right, let's... Oh, no. We were going to Hawaii, right? One of these 2 in Hawaii? I think it was Ship we were trying to unlock. But he has no interest. It's not Darby. Man, Eisenhower is just a weird recruit. He does not care for us. Recurrent injuries. I guarantee it's not that guy. I think it was Bulwer. Yeah, because we're 4th on his list. He was decent. He could work harder. But that's all right. Let's throw out the offer. I think we can pass on visiting him so that we can get out and talk to these other guys. So Neil Wright wants to hear about location. That's what we're going to give to him. Whoo, Cartensen. Where we at? Oh, all right, we're in his top 10, so not bad. We still need to go out there and pitch location and cross our fingers. I would still like to see him go one more week without committing, because we are low on his list. Morris Forrest, on the other hand. Morris Forrest. Love that name. We are 2nd on his list, so let's talk about how lovely Nebraska is. Illegal recruiting caught. I like that thought pattern there, Breeze. It's an interesting theory there, buddy. All right, so let's get these guys that committed off of our list. Let's go out and talk to Johnny Carroll. Oh, still doesn't look like we're in his top 10, but that's all right. He's still willing to talk to us. Says he's got some interest at least. Now, where is Sherrell George? How are we on his list? We're not on it. But he does like location. Whew. You know, we haven't committed to visiting Carroll yet. Whoa, decisions. We visited him once. We're still not in his top 10. Do we cut bait and go for the backup option straight away or keep shooting for the stars? Let's see what happens. Right? Why not? What is the worst that could possibly happen here? All right, woo! Sending us to play UNC on the road right away. Sir, we're trying to get to 500 this year so I don't get fired. Let's rethink that one. Maybe we could go play Alabama A&M. I like that a lot better. You can't change the home or away, but you can definitely change the opponent here, and I'm going to take full advantage of that because we need every win we can possibly get to try to hit 500 and save our job here with the Cornhuskers in Season 2. They got a short leash here at Nebraska, and disaster strikes. Johnny Carroll headed to Boise State. Apparently, we've also lost another recruit, so let's hope we got more than 2 decisions here. We got 3 decisions, so that's excellent news. Neil Wright is coming. Morris Forrest to Kansas. What a heartbreaker. I had my sights set on Forrest. But we do have our first commitment. We got Neil Wright. So that's solid. That's the kind of guy. He's adding depth. He's not a game changer, but you know, schools like Nebraska usually aren't bringing in game changers straight out of the gate. You got to build up to that. So we're shooting for the stars, but if we come up short, it's understandable. Definitely getting our offer out to Sherrell George. Excuse me. Get out there, talk to him about some location. Let's see. Barker and Forrest are both gone here to Kansas and UCLA. Whew, I don't know that we had a backup plan here. Well, our backup plan was Barker, but neither of those guys were really truly backup plans. Great leader here. Didn't stand out at Houston. One guy's, Courtney London. How'd he do? Didn't really stand out. This guy has no interest. All right, decent here. Piper. Let's give it a go here. He's got a little bit of interest. Let's try to unlock some of these areas, see what he's into. All right. So he's big into academics and location, but he's also all right with conference prestige. I don't think we have killer academics, so let's just fall back on that conference prestige, cross our fingers. Small forward. Let's see. Yeah, we can go ahead and make this visit and Cartensen. So headed out to talk to him about location. And headed over. Man, we've got to land Cartensen. All these other guys. Well, I guess we can still get the JUCO. But man, This guy would be a huge get. We're in his top 10 at least. Let's try it again. Try it another week. Hopefully we get at least one more right here. You know, I don't mind. If we grab 2, maybe even 3 in this visit period, that's cool. And we can try to fill the other scholarships as we go through the season. I would hate for us to only get 1 recruit in this. So now we got 2 decisions, and they're 2 big ones. Let's see. Cartenson says it was a good visit. Bullware really likes it, but didn't make a decision. Piper will talk to us. Ooh, Sherelle George, kind of lukewarm there. So, we have no idea what's going to happen. Cartenson, Oklahoma. Crap. And Sherelle George to Iowa State. So that went about as poorly as it possibly could. Oh, that sucks. And the JUCO got snapped up by... How's Cartenson and the JUCO both going to Oklahoma? How does that work? Alright, so that was absolutely worst case scenario there. We can try to jump in here. He's not going to talk to us. It's not a terrible backup option, but not a good option either. We can still go out and talk to him about conference prestige, I suppose, and make an offer. Down here at point guard. You know, the good news here at point guard is at least we have a good one. The freshman that we've got is definitely solid. So this guy, Crean, was decent at Houston. We can make an offer there. We can call him up, see what we can unlock. Alright, so location. Alright, so that would be, again, you know, add a little bit of depth. I'm fine with that. Does Piper want to visit yet? No. At the small forward, Bullware just keeps dropping down in stars, but I still like the guy. Don't know why he's not committing, but I still like him. Alright, so we got all of our offers out once again. See if anybody else, no interest in coming to visit. Alright. That's fine. It's about the same, Breeze. It's about the same. You know, Tulane and Nebraska, the big thing that Nebraska offers is an even better conference. Not that Tulane's was bad, but Nebraska's obviously the Big Ten is a step up, gives you a lot more opportunities. And then if you get big wins, you get big conference tournament wins, it affects the prestige. I feel like it affects it more. You can grow faster at a school like this. So that was the real difference. We could have grown at Tulane over the course of years, but it's so much easier to slide back there. Whereas if you can get your heels dug in at a bigger conference school, you can make it a little bit more secure, and then I feel like you can grow a little bit quicker. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm sure that people do it all sorts of different ways. See what happens here in the last week of in-home visits. We finally get a decision out of Bullware. He's going to be coming in. So, very low ranked. Had a good camp. I like him a lot. And the good news there is we've still got a shot at the other offers that we sent out. So you can take a look here at Bullware. He was decent at camp. I don't like to see this, that he doesn't have a great work ethic. His ratings obviously aren't great. But, you know, we're all about adding depth. And if he had a decent camp, that's good enough for me. That means regardless of all this, regardless of what he did in high school, regardless of what the scout thinks, put him out there on the floor and he can hold his own. So we need guys like that because the roster that we have right now absolutely cannot hold their own against anybody. They're bad. Let's see what we've got outstanding here, if we can get anybody else to visit. So once we get through that period, I usually just like to make a run for the actual games. So if anybody visits or if we can get anything else moving, if we can get any of these other offers to actually commit to us, that would be great. But if we can't, we're going to move it right on into... All right, so he didn't care for the visit. It's all right. We're going to move it right on into practice. But sometimes you do get some of these stragglers in these weeks right here. And then after that, it's a little bit random all the way up until you get to the in-home visit period. That's actually, was it during the conference tournament or during the actual NCAA tournament? One or the other. But again, we got two guys that are going to add depth, which is solid. It's actually going to add it in good places, I think. We still really need a center. We got totally hosed on that center decision. I thought we had a pretty good 1A, 1B lined up there, and then they both committed the same week to Oklahoma. The same week that apparently every center in the nation committed. So that was pretty painful. But yeah, we brought in a freshman that was pretty good. Pretty good power forward freshman here in Crosby. And then you can see Holmes is a guy that was already here. He's got a decent ranking. He's a senior. Randolph also going to be gone, so was really needing some depth on the inside. That's where, right when you're just looking for decent depth, a guy like this is fine. I would have rather had Myron Jones. I would have rather had Cartensen, but we're not getting to pick who we bring in just yet here. We'll get there, but look at Dwan Jolly. He ought to be able to win some games on his own for us. All right, so we're actually up to simming some games. So what we're going to do is get over here and make sure our depth chart's set up right first of all. I always like to see what the AI thinks about it. Duncan, Hart, Holmes, and Draft. Let's see who those guys are. So Duncan was our guy. Hart was our guy. It was probably Kraft. He's not our guy. And who was the other power forward they put in there? Holmes. So the computer likes our guys on the wings. They don't so much like the inside guys, which is really just Crosby. They're starting Hart. They're starting Duncan and Jolly. So Crosby is the only freshman that we recruited that the AI is not starting. Is that right? Jolly, Duncan, Hart. And they got Crosby way down here. So let's actually switch this up just a touch. Like so. Move Kraft on up there. Randolph can stay. The rest of it I'm not going to worry about. Let them set the matrix. And that's what we're going to be rolling with. So I got my fingers crossed on that. All right. Feel bad because it's been like a week or so since I actually did anything. It's going to be at least another week before I can do anything else. So let's sim like a handful here. Just see what this team looks like in the early season. See if we're headed for getting fired or if we think we might be able to scratch out, even just a handful of these out-of-conference games on the road against bad teams. If we could scratch some out, that would make everything a lot easier. So we're going out to play Alabama A&M on the road, and they beat us. So right out of the gate, not looking great. Duncan and Hart both played well. That's where we need a handful of those. Like, as bad as the team is, being on the road, I'm not shocked that we lost that. But we do need to find a handful of them that we can win if we want to be able to save our job. So let's just keep an eye on it, see how that plays out. Omaha at home, definitely need to be winning this one. Not that I don't think it's much better than a toss-up at this point, but we need it really badly. So let's cross our fingers on this. Yes. Yes. Big win against Omaha. And it was a close one, but we got it, right? So we're 500 on the season. If we just call it a season here, I think that we keep our job, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get a couple more. Just kind of get a vibe for how this is going to go. I don't think I can do the entire season tonight. I've got a lot of other stuff I need to get off and do, but we can try a couple more here. Maybe get into December. I don't know how many games there are in November, but maybe we just get into December and see where we're at. Take a brief look at our stats at that point and then head out. We do have, I saw there, Tulane ranked number 21. That's good to see. Both the guys we signed, both the guys that committed signed their LOIs, so we don't have any kind of GPA problems with our commitments. That's good. So, I mean, things are going okay. It's okay. Southern Utah coming in. Both of us are 1-1 on the year. Another one, like these are ones that you need to win, but these are all toss-ups right now with this roster where it's at. We've got at least 2 more years just to get to where these aren't games that are terrifying. Woo! 13. Erwin Holmes. He's the senior big man that we've got playing. He's got the 3-star ranking. He's the senior big man we're playing at center. He's been having quality games. It's the freshmen and Holmes so far that are really pulling their weight for sure. So we're 2-0 at home. We're 0-1 on the road. We haven't played anything decent yet. But we've got 2 wins. Last year, all year combined, we only had 9. So back on the road we go to play the University of Alabama Birmingham Blazers, Bartow Arena. Again, these are the ones probably shouldn't be favored here, but we gotta find some wins somewhere in games like this. Oh, and we came so close there. But we fall by 4 at UAB. Back to 500 we go. You know, if we could play 500 ball in the Big Ten, that would be this would be all right. But something tells me that's going to be a little bit more of a stretch. Well, we can pull off some wins, but man, we really need some wins here in this out of conference schedule. All right, no game today. Got about 3 or 4 days left here. I'm going to get to December and stop. Oh, so now we're on the road at Air Force. They haven't won yet this year. We're 2-2, but we haven't won on the road. So this probably sets the stage for where we're going to pick up next time. This is for all the momentum marbles. Let's see how this goes. Yes! Yes, sir. Dwan Jolly, definitely the man. Gets us a big win on the road. Brings us to 3-2. Love to see it. A couple more of those road wins, and we can start thinking about maybe having a year 3 with the Cornhuskers. Whew. Man, glad to win a road game. You never want to get like halfway through the conference schedule and you still haven't won a single road game all year. That's not a very good feeling. But here we are on December 1st. Let's take a quick look at the stats here. Let's go ahead and save first. I know it just saved, but I don't trust autosaves. All right, so through November, through 5 games, let's see what we're looking like here. Man, Jolly, the freshman, and obviously the freshmen are going to be carrying it because they're getting so many of the minutes. So Holmes, the senior, is leading the team in scoring with 14, 6.5 rebounds, Then Crosby, the freshman, right behind him with 5.5 rebounds. Not quite the same score, but that's all right. If we want to focus all of our inside scoring, run it through Holmes, that's fine. Because here's our other freshman. Leonard Hart, small forward, averaging 10 a game and 4 rebounds and a couple of assists. Michael Duncan, 11 points, a couple of assists, almost 5 rebounds. And Dwan Jolly, 9 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds, 5 turnovers. That's pretty awful, and we've got to fix that. Now, I can give him a bit of a pass because half of what this team's trying to run is a Princeton. And that's really not the type of offense that you want to stick a freshman point guard into. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'd like to move away from that, obviously. I just don't... Oh, we're playing so many freshmen. I don't know. I got to think about that. It's an interesting dilemma because Holmes is obviously the leading scorer. He's a senior, and he knows these offenses so well, especially that flex. So I don't want to kill his production. But at the same time, look at all the minutes that freshmen are playing, and these guys have no idea how to run a Princeton or flex. Well, I mean, they got a little bit that I've taught them. We can stick with it, I guess. So who else is playing heavy minutes? Justin Miller. And, I mean, he's... Obviously, that's what they've been running. Kraft is a sophomore. That's the only thing he's got. So, yeah. I can't really move away from it without killing all the production outside those freshmen. So, guys, that's what we got. I got to get out of here. We're going to cut the stream off now. I'm going to be gone on vacation next week, so there will not be any streams until, I guess, probably getting towards the middle part of October. So I wanted to try to bring at least a couple of games tonight, but next time we're going to get all the way through this season. We're going to find out whether or not we get to hold on to this job or whether we're back out looking for something else. And we'll just pick it up from there. We're also definitely, by that time, it's going to be time to get into some more Draft Day Sports Pro Football. And you never know when we might throw some TEW at you. But I'm glad that you guys stopped by. I hope that you enjoyed the stream. I really appreciate y'all, and I'll see you all when I get back.